Hey, how's it going? Welcome back to ForeverCraft. And today, we're working on a couple different builds. I want to get the skeleton farm up and running. The first thing I want to do is see if we can earn a few iron blocks. You see, Blaney's got his iron farm going over there, but he hasn't opened up his store yet. And I think maybe we can scalp off a couple iron blocks for free by having a convenient enchantment set up. That's what we did here. But right now it's kind of ugly. So I kind of want to go collect some like diorite and andesite and some other stone blocks to kind of match our color palette that we've got going on so far for this side of the river, and build a nice little kind of enchant shrine looking thing here maybe. And before I did all that and even started gathering materials, I wanted to enchant a pickaxe with fortune so that we weren't wasting any more resources while we're mining. So now that we have a fortune pick, we can really start digging underneath the base. That's why we kind of have this temporary enchant set up for now, but we're going to upgrade it, don't worry. That's the first thing today, and then we'll move to the skeleton build. But first, let's get some stone variants and get a nice little cool enchant table build going. And here they are, the enchanted ruins. Not too bad actually. I think that it probably could have been a little bit bigger in order to sell this like little bit of a gradient we've got going from the deep slate up to the light. Oh, what was that? Was that a zombie? That was weird. Anyway, it could have been a little bit bigger possibly to sell the gradient, but I wanted to keep it this nice little tiny little ruins. You know, it's just our kind of initial little enchantment zone. The reality is when you get further through the progression in Minecraft, you just don't use an enchant table that much, but for early game, it's pretty handy. It's going to take us a few cycles to get lucky probably. We've got enough diamonds that we can craft all of our gear and all of our armor. But I think before we do that, I think I want to get the skeleton farm actually optimized a little bit. And we'll just use that thing to grind out some XP real quick. It takes a few cycles doing it the old fashioned way with the enchant table, but you know, it's a little nostalgic and it's fun to do as your first go around in a new world. Sure, we'll get villager trades going eventually, but for now, this will work. I did get a little bit ahead of things over here. I moved a couple of the villagers from our villager breeder into the house. We've got 2 stick trades and 1 mending. 18 emeralds, not bad. You can get a little bit lower than that, but honestly, 18 for mending, that's not bad. I'll take it. So we can get mending books so that when we do get good enchants at the table over there, we can kind of lock them in with mending and keep that gear from breaking. But again, that is also going to use experience, so we've got to get that skeleton farm optimized and up and running. First things first, we got to dig a nice little like tunnel underneath it so they drop, and then a bubble elevator to send them back up. We did hop in the nether real quick and grab some soul sand. It's literally right on the other side of our portal. I jumped in, grabbed soul sand, and jumped back out. But we've got mending. Got an enchant table. Now we just need a good reliable way for early game experience. So now let's go over there to the skeleton farm and get ourselves set up for XP. Oh, I just realized I probably should say something. Fun fact, if you want to keep villagers inside of like a house like this, you just want to put down some railways. I think this actually also works with like carpet or anything. And if there's any kind of a block here, I think technically they can fit through the doorway, but they won't for whatever reason. So if you put some railways, I think it actually works with the carpet too, but we had some railways on hand, so I threw these down. They won't go through the door. Second tip, because, you know, you get a mending villager, you really don't want to mess that up, right? The most likely downfall of your mending villager or any of your guys inside your house is a zombie. But if you place a door sideways and then close it, that actually breaks the zombie AI. So now the zombie won't even try to break the door, and the villager won't try to leave. So as long as you remember to shut your door, you're good to go. Slight downside, if you use these sideways doors, you can't use a pressure plate or anything because they will open rather than shut, which you don't want, obviously. But anyway, to the skeleton farm, after we sleep. All right, don't mind the arrows. You know, we had a bit of a run-in. Not from the farm, though, I promise. All right, so this thing, it's not pretty yet, don't worry. It's just purely functional right now. I wanted to get the design in place, get the elevator in, and get the kill area in, and kind of figure out how that loop was going to work before we actually built a structure around this thing. It's decent. It's going to be good enough for us to get all of our gear kind of initially enchanted here. But all right, now that we have a reliable way to get XP, let's go craft up the rest of our diamond armor and tools, get it all enchanted, and then we'll come back here and make this build look a lot cooler. All right. Locking in probably our most important enchant. We got a Fortune 3 Efficiency Unbreaking Pickaxe. That is maybe the most important piece outside of, secondly, a silk touch pickaxe. Unfortunately, that is the only successful enchant we've got so far, so up to the farm and grind some XP. Okay, well, this is going terrible. As you can tell from my inventory, we have been at this for a minute, and we are not having very much luck. I have managed to get a chest piece crafted with protection and unbreaking, and some boots that are pretty much perfect. Protection, feather falling, depth strider, unbreaking, mending. I even put mending on because I figured we had feather falling and we had depth strider. But other than that, we've still just kind of got our pickaxe. And did I just get my axe, which has fortune on it, but whatever. Anyway, I'm wearing myself out over here at this ugly skeleton farm, trying to get some levels, and I need a break. And I think a good break can be building the actual skeleton farm structure, because, I mean, let's face it, based on how many materials we're getting just for this initial part, we're not going to be using this thing a whole bunch. So if we're going to decorate this thing and build a whole build around it, we might as well do it before we get done getting all the experience we need for a while. So I think instead of getting all of our stuff done all at once, a nice little break is going to be getting this thing designed and built. So we're moving on to the skeleton farm. We need to collect a little bit more deep slate, and I think I want to use tuff as like the main wall blocks in the build. It's going to be kind of like a crypt or graveyard building. I guess they're probably all called crypts, but whatever you call those like little huts that are for like the fancy people at graveyards. So I'm going to go get some tuff and a couple more materials, and we're going to build a cool little thing around this. The system that the actual skeletons come up and go over is pretty much the same. We're just going to kind of build around this, and we'll probably replace the cobblestone, right? Because cobblestone's kind of ugly, but all right, let's get to work.
I don't mind saying I roll out of bed and I roll up. Ooh, stretch my back and legs. Well, now what did the younger me become? I make some coffee and a plan, and I decide on oats and eggs. Blow my cares away.
And here it is, the skeleton farm. Got ourselves a nice little bone crypt here. Still want to do some pathing, and there's a little bit more setup to do, but the majority of the build is done. And we've taken full advantage and got all of our gear fully enchanted with mending. Definitely didn't take like 3 hours. That's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, I can't say that I recommend doing a skeleton farm in the year 2025, but it was fun. It was a cool build to do, and it's just kind of nostalgic to make an old-fashioned skeleton farm. We've got these fun little tables in here. I actually really love these tables. They're just weirdly satisfying. If you do a upside down stair like this with trapdoors, it's just a perfect rectangle. There's no overhangs or lips or anything, and you can put stuff on it because it's table height. I just really like these, so I put one on both sides. An anvil in case you want to enchant something real quick while we're getting XP. Loot goes over here. Skeletons are right here. I put this as glass. You can actually kind of see what's going on the inside. It's not perfect. You kind of have to stand over here to the side a little bit to get the XP. If you stand too close to this, it'll try to come out here, which you still collect it, but it's not the same. Yeah, that's the whole farm. You also still get some of the drops, which is kind of annoying, but I just kind of go over here and throw them in there. It's fine. But yeah, there's not really much to show here, I guess. It's a tiny little crypt building, and then inside of it, our skeleton farm. We've got all of our experience figured out. We've got mending on our gear. We've got enchants on all our stuff, and that is relieving. I've got some big projects I want to get going on, and we need all the materials and stuff we can get. Well, I just noticed that we're missing one wall block, unfortunately, so what should it be? Brick or smooth? Tough call. Tough. The tough call. Anyway, I think I want to do one more thing this episode before we call it a day, and that is get some paths. So we've got our skeleton crypt up here on the hill, and then kind of just down this path a little bit is kind of our main little starter house. And then directly opposite of that is our enchant table. And I think it would be fun to have some pathways coming from our base to each of those things. So that's what we're going to work on. I haven't decided the palette. I don't know. Usually what I'll do is I'll block in a path using path blocks like this, and then I'll come back later and texture it. So let's get it path blocked in and kind of get a feel for where the path is even going to go in the first place. And then we'll come back through and do some kind of path blocks. I'm not really sure what I want to go with yet. Maybe we'll keep to this podzol kind of brown concrete. We've got the materials for that stuff already. This brown concrete and coarse dirt looks pretty nice. We could just go for like a muddy path. It kind of fits our vibe. But for now, let's get it blocked out in path blocks. All right, so here's the thing. I very much had every intention of checking in along the progress of the path. But I got a little carried away. So what happened was I actually got pretty ambitious, decided I wanted to do a stream, which I haven't done on Twitch in a very long time. And well, we knocked out the whole path plus decorations along the whole thing. So I didn't get to do a lot of check-ins along the progress, but we're gonna do a walkthrough right now. Also, I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but we have the armor poser mod on the server, so I also did this with the enchant table. Huh? Pretty cool. I wish the model for books was like a little bit more three-dimensional, but I think it still sells like a fun floaty book around the enchantment. I thought it was cool. I mean, obviously it's a little static, but it's still, it's a cool effect, I think. I don't know. Anyway, I just thought that was fun. Now, the path. We got it all the way blocked in, and we got it even decorated. I went with a coarse dirt, gravel, path block, oak stairs. It's kind of my go-to, especially for this like mossy, rocky thing we've got going down along the coast here. And I just think it fits well with our base, and it fits well with like mossy cobble and spruce fence posts and things like that. So we've got some water mixed in here. We've got gravel again, and again we mixed in some of that brown concrete dust. This was actually really annoying to do this part in particular because this is actually directly over our villager breeder. So I think if you break one of these, no, maybe not that one. Maybe it's further this way. Yeah, as you can see, I had to put signs all over the place underneath the path so that our concrete blocks didn't fall down into the villager breeder, which that one just did. So hopefully no one falls in that before I come back to fix it. So yeah, we did these cool little like mossy cobble rock walls that are like deteriorating along the path. I tried not to go too heavy with them, but I mixed them in heavier as we got closer to the build to kind of blend the styles together, if that makes sense. I put two right at the entranceway, so it feels like kind of a fancy, like, it's almost like a retaining wall vibe, but obviously this is like only a one block drop, so these are just kind of set pieces as you're walking up to the build. And then I also extended the path all the way up and around into the skeleton farm. Similar pattern, similar stuff, and I tried to really stuff this one in tight. The path narrows down to like 2 blocks wide as well right here to keep it nice and tight. And then boom, the skeleton farm. I got rid of those trees that were kind of framing it a little bit tight. I just thought you couldn't really see the build at all, so I just got rid of them. I liked that there was a tree in the front corner because I thought it was kind of like helped balance everything, but it just blocked too much of the view. So yeah, there it is. We've got paths all the way around connecting all of our builds we've got so far. The skeleton farm, the main base, and the enchant table. This place is really starting to feel cohesive and like a home. I love it. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned this either. This is our chicken coop. I had to go like 100 blocks away to find some chickens. And then I bred those chickens over there until I got eggs. And then I took all those eggs and threw them in here and then, you know, kind of recycled it until we got a sizable chicken farm. So if we ever need chickens or eggs or anything, we're set for that. But yeah, there it is. I'm still looking for a name for our horse here. Road Rash was a current contender. I think I'd prefer more of a grounded in-world name if that makes sense, but I'll consider any options you guys want to throw at me. This has been a very productive episode. So productive that I think it's probably worth liking the video, subscribing. I don't know, just a thought. Anyway, if you made it this far, I appreciate you. Thanks for sticking around. Have a good one.